Always waiting for Instagram. There we go. Hi, everyone. We're back. It's Lisa again, and I am here with Dr. K. Hi, Dr. K.
Hi, Lisa. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I am so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
I want you to tell everyone who you are, what you do, and what you're going to be talking about at the conference.
Lisa, and to everybody, hey, I bring you greetings. My normal greeting is, hey, y'all. So, hey, y'all, I bring you greetings from the great state of Texas. I live in Duncanville, which is a small city just to the south of Dallas. I am Kasundra Brown, also known as Dr. K, the Tilted Fedora Trainer. I am the thing that I'm most proud of is that I am the mother of 4 adult sons whom I love to say are all grown, gone, and don't need a loan. They are wonderful men that I've had the privilege of introducing into the world, and I'm grateful for that, grateful to God for that opportunity. Above that, I'm a minister, I'm a preacher, I'm a teacher, I am a speaker. I love to encourage people. I love to give them the wisdom that is true wisdom. And I define truth as being that which is right for all people at all times in all places. There are truths that they are transcendental. That means they override our situations. They override our circumstances and they apply to everyone. I have found that if we live our lives according to these rules, and there are not a whole lot of them, but if we figure them out, live our lives according to them, we get great lives as a result. So that's what I do. I give people practical ways of applying universal truth.
That's amazing. I love that. What inspired you to want to tell your story?
Wow. I met with a group of women. In fact, I'll explain the nickname Dr. K because I need to say up front as a disclaimer, I do not have a doctorate's degree. I received that name from a group of about 15 women that I met with daily via phone calls and Zoom calls pretty much every day for about 15 months. We prayed, we talked, we encouraged one another, we discussed life issues. I still have several friends from that group of ladies. When I joined the group, I was very quiet initially. I don't remember the subject matter, but I started speaking up. And the day that I spoke up included what I had to say to the conversation. The leader of the group said, wow, you have so much wisdom and good information. From now on, I'm calling you doctor. From now on, you're Dr. K. And it's really that group of women that inspired me to start telling my story, to start revealing my experiences, some of my vulnerabilities, praise God, a lot of my victories.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I talk about when I talk about community, right? That's how we heal. That's how we lift each other up is that community. And there's nothing stronger than a community of women. There's absolutely nothing stronger than that. What do you think is, and you've already touched on this a little bit, but what do you think is the key takeaway of what you're going to be sharing with us at the conference?
The message I'll be sharing at the conference is called While Waiting for You, I Found Me. I love that. I like the title. And I didn't even come up with it.
I love that title so much.
A friend of mine gave it to me. But the takeaways from that are, number one, we need to not memorialize pain. The message itself comes not directly from my life. It comes directly from the life of a lady named Leah, who is found in the Bible in the book of Genesis. The Bible describes her as being hated by her husband. Her circumstances are so dire that she names her children according to where she is in life. So her first son's name is Misery. Her second son's name is Hated. Misery, I believe the other one is Hated. The third one is Lonely, looking for a hookup. So she's in a desperate situation, and she has 9 kids total. So
Mm-hmm.
each child's name indicates where she is in life. Those first three, she's in a horrible place. So one of my takeaways is to not memorialize your pain in any name. She memorializes her pain in her children's names, but we
So she'll always
memorialize,
be reminded of that part
right.
of her life. Yeah.
We memorialize pain in many different ways. She chose to name her children after her emotions.
Yeah.
The good thing, though, is that the habit she started is the habit she kept. She hits her fourth child, and that name is known around the world. It's Judah. It means praise. But it doesn't just mean praise. What it really means is this time I will praise. So there's a pivot. She's in the same situation, she's facing the same circumstances, but she
Yeah.
does not respond the same way.
Yeah.
She does something completely different, and that changes everything.
Everything.
She
Yep.
literally goes from the bottom of the pile to the top of the heap. And by the end of her life, instead of being hated, she is greatly loved. She is called the mother of the nation. She has 8 sons and 1 daughter. I love the daughter's name. The daughter's name is Dinah, which means vindicated.
Yeah.
So all of the ills that she suffered at the beginning, she has now received, as some people say, double for her trouble in the
Mm-hmm.
end.
Mm-hmm.
And she dies loved, cherished, honored, remembered. She leaves a legacy of not just an individual, but a nation and a
Mm-hmm.
life that we can learn from.
Right. And that story is so true that we can rise up from our pain and
Yeah,
we can, but we do have to go through it. Right.
yeah,
That is something that we need to teach everyone, that through is the way to freedom. Like,
yeah,
we can't suppress it. We can't keep avoiding it. We can't keep pushing it aside. Address it and heal. The
yeah,
only way to heal is to go through, and that's where the freedom is, in
yeah.
healing,
Yes,
right?
I tell people you can't go through unless you can't get through unless you go through,
Right? Absolutely.
and you
You're
cannot get stuck
absolutely
in
right.
the process.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. Um, so
Should
what is something that you want everyone to know about you?
ooh, I want everyone to know that at the age of 60, I decided to pivot in life itself. Uh, I've always wanted to do a stand-up comedy routine,
Oh.
always.
Mhm.
And I created an opportunity for me to do my own stand-up comedy by producing, promoting, and hosting a clean comedy event called Laughter is Good Medicine.
Oh, I love that.
We are now setting up our 4th show.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
I now want everyone to know that you can pivot pretty much at any age. If you've got a dream that has been, it's just been in the back of your mind, every now and then it rises up, it comes to the forefront, you squash it back down, but it just keeps showing up. It's now time to act on that dream. And at
I love that.
60, I took the pivot and I did it. I'm having a ball. I'm looking at my 4th successful event. The first 3 events were very successful. In fact, when the first event sold out, I was so shocked that I shut down for about 10 hours. I was overwhelmed. And this is another lesson I can give someone. When you get that moment, take a nap and then think about all of the things you have to do and decide on one thing to do. Because what I was doing was drinking water out of a fire hose.
Yeah, yeah,
And when I took it down to a water bottle, a swallow that I could handle, it
yeah,
was okay, Kasundra. You can do one thing. What one thing do you need to do now? And I
yeah.
did that one thing. And then when that was done, you're doing good, girl. What's the next one thing?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
And we got through the first show. It was fantastic. Went ahead and announced the second show. The tickets sold for it. Announced the third show. The tickets sold for it. And now the 4th show.
That is amazing. And that is a true testament. You can pivot. You
You can,
can. You can, you know, I spent 35 years in a corporate executive role.
mm,
And decided after the one last big event that I did in 2015 that I was done. Like I couldn't fathom waking up and doing it for one more day. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't. Like it sucked my soul dry.
Wow.
And so I didn't. I completely pivoted. I did something completely I'd never done before, and I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about. I just wanted to do something completely different where I didn't have the same responsibility. I wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't. There's a lot of things, but I pivoted and I did that for a few years, and then I got a call from somebody who said, we want you to help us with something. And I realized that I could then not only use my experience to help, but I could charge a premium for it. And I only had to do it for a really short time, right? I didn't have to like jump in and submerge myself into what I was in before. I could just like come in, do the little bit of help, and then go bye, and off I go. So I've been, sort of consulting ever since, doing that kind of work, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine for me, because this is my passion, and this, she is me is what I live for, and I like think about 24/7. So this is the when I finally on that time off, when I finally discovered what my passion was and what people had told me over the years, like, oh, you have
Mm-hmm.
everything you need, you are this, you are that, and I was like, well, how do I make that into something that works? Like, I don't even know
Mm-hmm.
what that thing is.
Mm-hmm.
And then one step at a time,
Yeah.
um this came about, and now it's just amazing, right? It's
It,
amazing.
it's amazing when you see how much joy you bring people. And when you are able to bring something to the market or to the table that truly serves, that truly helps, that truly alleviates pain, puts people in a better place. My goal is when people are in my presence that I leave them better than I found them. That
Yes.
they leave me feeling better than when we met.
Well, I already feel better just being with you for 15 minutes, so I'm good.
Thank
Um,
you.
Tell me what it was about She Is Me that you wanted to be a part of this.
The title echoed with me. When I read Leah's story and I did the deep dive study, I realized that Leah, I had to say that phrase about Leah. Leah is Cassandra.
Yeah.
I identified with that experience. So your conference title spoke to me. I talk about a woman who I identified with so much that I deep dive studied her life and then looked at the similarities and said, wow, there is a lot to unpack and a great deal to learn. So your conference title spoke immediately.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm that was the whole point, right? That's the whole point of naming it that, because you are me, I'm you,
That,
and we are each other, and we are one. So it is
that
important.
there is an old preacher uh, from decades ago named Reverend Ike.
Hmm.
And Reverend Ike says one of his mottos is, I meet no one but myself.
Yes.
And I believe that if we could begin to own that, to begin to think, I meet no one but myself with every person that we meet, we would literally upend the world and there would be peace immediately if we love ourselves. I think what we're
Yes.
experiencing now is a tremendous, unfortunate lack of love. But when we hit that place where we begin to really love ourselves,
Yeah.
and then we are able to see other people in us, we're now able to love them. Something Mother Teresa said, if people are not familiar with Reverend Ike, you are familiar with Mother Teresa. Her name is known everywhere. Someone asked her one day, how are you able to hug people in such a low estate? I mean, remember, she worked in the slums of Calcutta, daily touching people who have human feces over them because they can't get out of the dirt.
Right.
Hugging people who were dying of dreadful diseases. And someone said, how can you do that? And she said, I simply see the Christ in them.
Mm.
And seeing the Christ in them, she knew Christ was in her. So she immediately identified with their fallen plight,
Yeah.
and with the God who loved her out of her circumstances so that she could love them out of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally just
Beautiful.
seeing the face of Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think you're right. If we recognize ourselves in every person,
it'll change our interaction.
It would change. It would change. And that's one of the reasons why we do this. That's one of the reasons why we all come together, so that we can see ourselves in each other and that we can become one community.
One of the things I've learned, and now I listen to comedians more closely than I used to. And it doesn't matter what culture people come from. We pretty much all have the same mom stories.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If we had mothers who were present, we've got the same mom story. I've heard an Indian woman talk about her mother threatening her life. My mom threatened my life. I threatened my son's life. We have the same experiences, because when it's all said and done,
we do.
The differences in us are really only skin deep.
Right. Yep. You're absolutely right. And that difference is micrometers, like a teeny, tiny little layer on the outside. That's it. A tiny, like if you knew how deep down color went on your skin, like I can't even measure it, like this much. Like it's so
it's
tiny.
A thin layer.
It's ridiculous that, yeah, it's ridiculous that
you need a micrometer to measure it
so differently. Yeah. Dr. K, thank you so much for joining us today and leaving your energy with us. It was absolutely delightful.
Lisa, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for selecting me to be one of your speakers. I know you had people applying from everywhere and then some. So to have made the cut, I am extremely excited. I'm thrilled about what is to be. Yes. And I think we have another meeting coming up, so I'll see you then and there.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. We'll see you soon.
All righty. Take care. Be blessed. Keep laughing.